Good day, everyone. Good day to our listeners, to our participants, to our guests, and my co research speakers. Today, I will be giving you some of the writing tips on how you could make research as easy as possible. To my topic, Writing Made Easy, Researchers and Editors Guide to Referencing, Proofreading, and Formatting. I am Dr. Jennifer M. Oastar from the Schools Division of Lucena City. And once again, I'm very honored to be invited here as your plenary speaker. To begin with, let me give you some of the terminal objectives. First and foremost, enhance the participants' knowledge and skills in writing a research through referencing, proofreading, and formatting guides. For our enabling objectives, specifically, participants shall enable themselves to first, list references using the recommended citation style, compare and contrast in-text citation, and apply research layout following American Psychological Association 7th edition formatting. Here are my topic outline for today's lecture. First, listing references. Second, in-text citation. And last, research layout. And may I give you first a warm-up activity. You can use your chat box to respond to the questions that I will be giving, and let's see if you could make or you could activate your prior knowledge regarding research, writing, formatting, proofreading, and others or other concepts related to research. First, what is the proper arrangement of an APA paper? A. Title page, abstract, introduction, method, results, discussion, and references. B. Title page, abstract, introduction, method, discussion, results, and references. Letter C. Title page, abstract, introduction, discussion, method, results, references. So you can key in your answer in our chat box. You are given 5 seconds to do so. So the correct answer is, you are right, it's letter A. So as explained, an American Psychological Association style manuscript has specific organization. The proper order is title page, abstract, introduction, method, results, discussion, and references. So who got it correctly? Okay, very good. Let's have the second question. What is the proper spacing on an APA document? Or what would be? Let's have the question. Here's the ruling and tell me if it is true or false. In general, single space all parts of an APA style paper, including the abstract, text, block quotations, table and figure numbers, titles, and notes and reference list, including between and within entries. Add extra space before or after paragraphs. Is the guide true or false? You are given 5 seconds again. Let's see. The answer is false. Why? Because it should be double space in all parts of the paper. Let's now proceed to our third question, or warm-up question, should I say. What is the prescribed APA font and size? Do you have any idea? The following are the prescribed font and size in formatting APA 7th edition manuscript, except, so which one is not included or accepted? So here are our choices. A Times New Roman 11, B Calibri 11, C Comic Sans 11, D Arial 11, E Lucida Sans Unicode 11, F Georgia 11, G Computer Modern 10. You are given 5 seconds as well. The answer is, let's reveal, which is not included in the accepted font and size. Comic Sans 11. Why? Because sans serif fonts such as 11-point Calibri, 11-point Arial, or 10-point Lucida Sans Unicode are accepted since they belong to the sans serif fonts. We also accept serif fonts such as 12-point Times New Roman, 11-point Georgia, or normal 10-point. Then we also have Computer Modern, the default font for LaTeX. So as we can see here, Comic Sans 11 is not accepted in our APA 7th edition, and the remaining sans serif fonts and serif fonts family can be used. Next question. So here, what is the recommended tense of a research paper per section? Do you have any idea? Literature review or whenever discussing other researchers' work? Example here is Martin 2020 addressed. Researchers have studied. So what would be the correct or the recommended tense? Yes, you are right. Literature review should be in the past tense or in the present perfect tense. How about the method and description of procedure? Example here, participants took a survey. Others have used similar approaches. In the method, we use past tense, and in the description of the procedure, we use present perfect tense. How about reporting of your own or other research's results? Example, results showed scores decreased, hypotheses were not supported. Our tense should be in the past tense. How about personal reactions? I felt surprised. Yes, correct. It's in the past tense. How about I have experience? It's in the present perfect tense. And I believe it's in the present tense. Therefore, when we are documenting personal reactions, we can use the past, present perfect, and the present tense. How about discussion of implications of results or previous statements? Example, the results indicate, the findings mean that. Discussion of implication is in the present tense. How about the presentation of conclusions, limitations, user directions, and so forth? We conclude limitations of the study are future research should explore. The tense is in the present tense. So you better remember some of the recommended tense in writing the parts of your paper. So here's just warm up. And I do not know if you feel that you are warming up because it seems that we are having our discussion already. Here, what will we do in this situation? For warm-up question number 5, complete the statement. If a source doesn't have a publication date, what should we use? 5 seconds. We will be using or we will be writing ND for no date. So that's a rule in referencing. Let's have the next. Okay, here's a sample. Last name, initials, and the page title, website name, and the URL. Question number 6. True or false? What is the word count for drafting a title? So when we do a title, when we, yes, draft a title, what would be the recommended number of words or the word count? Is it this way? The recommended length for a title is no more than 12 words. Is it a true or a false statement? Okay, this is true because, as a general rule, it's not exactly printed in the APA manual, but as a practice in universities, colleges, and educational institutions, the recommended number of words should not be more than 12 when we write our title because we are adopting a shorter version. We are no longer including the words study of, the evaluation of, an analysis of, and we're no longer including the exact place where the study is conducted as well as the time frame because those are or those should be embedded in the manuscript, not in the entire title of the paper. Let's have question number 7. What is the proper heading of the reference section? Is it letter A, reference, letter B, reference, all caps, or is it letter C, works cited, or letter D, bibliography? So try to remember, we are using the APA 7th edition. What are we applying? You are given 5 seconds to do so. Okay, why was it letter A? Here's the explanation. Here's a sample transcript of how our references should look like. So it should be references if there are many lists. So it's letter A. You should not capitalize all the letters. And it should be written at the center. Next, what are the level headings? Are you familiar with level headings? It's question number 7. Okay, let's see. Level headings are, yes, they identify the content within sections of the paper. So they are the titles, the subtitles in the contents of our manuscript. But how many level headings do we have in formatting using the American Psychological Association style? Is it 4, 5, or 6 level headings? And how we should write these headings? You have any idea? You are given 5 seconds. See? Why was it 5? See the example here. We have here 5 level headings and the corresponding format. For level 1, it should be centered bold title case heading. The text begins as a new paragraph. For level 2, it should be flush left bold title case heading. Text begins as a new paragraph. Level 3, flash left bold italic title case heading. The text begins as a new paragraph. For level 4, indented bold title case heading ending with a period. The text begins on the same line and continues as a regular paragraph. And for number 5, indented bold italic title case heading ending with a period. Text begins on the same line and continues as a regular paragraph. So we have 5 level headings and they should appear uh, this one as we format our paper. Yes, it goes this way. Let's have the next. What heading case shall be used? Is it the title case or the sentence case? So you mean by this? Use title case for headings except for the non-essential words such as the articles and prepositions. This is an example of sentence case, the first one. This is the sentence case, and this is the title case. So when we write heading, we use the title case. Okay, thank you so much for that. Let's proceed with the next question, or the next warm-up question, I should say. How can we cite this one? When will you use issuances? Option A and option B. Choices are Republic Act number 10533 series of 2013, RA 10533 series of 2013. When will you use issuances? A and option B, or option A and option B. Okay? In letter A, see the rulings? Yes. In letter A, at first mention. So it means when you have to spell out Republic Acts, debt-ed orders, or other issuances or legal issuances, we spell out the complete name, number, and a series at first mention. And on the second mention, or the succeeding citation, we just make it RA for Republic Act, then we no longer write a number, the word number, and this one. So at first mention Republic Act number 10533 series of 2013. Succeeding citation, RA 10533 series of 2013, and number is no longer needed. Another, Depot Order number 8 series of 2013. Succeeding citation, DO number 8 or DO 8 series of 2013. So this ruling is also applicable to the abbreviations, also in acronym or acronyms. You have to spell out the meaning of the abbreviation on the first mention, and on the succeeding citation, you just write them as the abbreviated format or the acronym format. Issuances are spelled out at first mention and are abbreviated thereafter. Republic Act, Administrative Order, Executive Order, and other legislations should be abbreviated as RAAO, EO, respectively, and others without periods in between letters. The year series should be included. How can we report numbers? Do you have any idea? When starting a sentence with a number, use words. Of course, do not begin your sentence with the numeric format. For example, 6 students participated in the study. When reporting a percentage, use numerals followed by a percent sign. The participants in the imagery practice condition improve by 40%, whereas those in no imagery practice condition improve only by 8%. So we use numerals, then percent sign. When describing number ages, use numerals. The 10-year-olds perform better than the 8-year-olds. When describing sample size, use numerals. There were 9 females and 9 males in each condition. When reporting statistics, use numerals. The mean score of the female was 6. When numbers above and below 10 are being compared in the same sentence, use numerals. Participants worked on either 5 to 10 logic problems. So here are some of the guidelines wherein you can opt to use numbers instead of words, okay? Let's now proceed with the next question. I do not know if this is still a warm up, and I guess you are learning already. So, what are the other things to consider in writing the body of the manuscript? And you have to complete the statement. There are no blank paragraphs. Do you have any idea? There are no one sentence paragraphs whenever you write your manuscript because one sentence paragraph is just designated for what? For journalistic writing, right? Terms that are abbreviated are written out completely the first time, as mentioned before. They are used and then always abbreviated thereafter. The word blank is used in citations outside of parentheses. The word and, you complete the word and. The blank is used in citations within parentheses. Ampersand. And later on, I will be showing you a lot of example for the word and the ampersand. Each citation used in the manuscript has a corresponding entry in the blank section, reference section. And in the method section, the word blank, not subjects, is consistently used. Participants. Yes, you should opt to use participants consistently. In the result section, all test statistics, such as the FT2P, are italicized. So whenever you mention statistical formula or test, they are italicized. So now, let's see how many points did you get in our warm-up activity. If you get more than 10, it means you are really having enough knowledge of writing, formatting, and editing stuffs. But if you got probably at least half of the questions, it means this topic would benefit you since mostly the questions discussed were parts of my lecture. And you will be learning more as we dig deeper to this topic. Let's have the first topic outline. Listing references, and I will only showcase the frequently asked questions because I am only given a short time to discuss these matters. That's why I only highlighted the frequently asked questions. So, what style guide shall we use? Are you familiar with the APA or the American Psychological Association 7th edition? If I'm not mistaken, this one is published 2020. If I'm not mistaken, or October 2019. I will see my reference here. I have the book, American Psychological Association. Let's see the copyright. So this one is written, copyrighted 2020 by the American Psychological Association. All rights reserved. So this is the latest version, which is followed by most of the researchers. Okay. So in research writing, this is used in social sciences disciplines. The APA manual sets the rules on how to format a research paper, formatting of the sources used, and how information should be presented. So this will be our guide for editing and formatting. Moving forward, why do we need to cite references? First, you should remember that avoiding cardinal sins of research is the foremost reason why we cite references, because it's a sin or it's a no-no for a researcher to falsify, to fabricate, and to plagiarize. So when you falsify, what will you do with the documents? When you fabricate, will you change the results? And when you plagiarize, will you get sources which are not given proper citation or permission from the author or the original source? So those are some of the scenes in research conduct. And by proper referencing, we can avoid those cardinal sins. So here are some of the guidelines. Once again, what are the guidelines in listing references? References is centered at the top of the first page. All entries are typed in alphabetical order when you are processing your references at the last part of your manuscript. Next. The first line of each reference is flush left, and subsequent lines are indented or a hanging indent. The name of the journal and the volume number are italicized. Source. An author's last names appears with first and, if provided, middle initials. And a general guide, do not type out first or middle names. So for example, OS star, comma, J period, M period. Authors' names are separated by commas if they have co-authors. Each and every entry is cited in the body of the manuscript. So it should be parallel with the number of authors presented in the manuscript and as reflected in the bibliography or in the reference section. What are the notable changes in the EPA 6th edition and the 7th edition? I have also here with me the EPA 6th edition. So if we will compare, this one is blue and the other one is with a touch of orange. So yes, it seems that the latter or the 7th edition is thicker than the 6th edition. And what's a notable change? In the citation, of course, and on the use of, in the 7th edition, gender fair language is being considered as part of the improvements or addition. So now, when it comes to referencing, here are some of the notable changes. And as also reflected in the American Psychological Association publication manual of the American Psychological Association 7th edition. Here's the rulings. The font and spacing. Let's have first the 6th edition as compared to the 7th. The font size, yes, it's Times New Roman before, Times New Roman 12 and double spacing. And the references are in hanging indent or 5 spaces. But when we do it here, the font and spacing in the 7th edition, as I told you a while ago, it is sans serif family, serif and the sans serif. Therefore, Times New Roman 11, Calibri 11, Arial 11, Lucide Sans Unicode 10, and Georgia, yeah, 11, Computer Modern 10, are being accepted, and the spacing is still double. References hanging indent 7 spaces, but we can use the automatic default in Microsoft Word. And in text, we have here the number of authors. In the 6th edition, we have 3 to 5 authors list. So if we have 3 to 5 authors, we list them all the first time. Then subsequently list first authors followed by et al. As you can see on the example. Garnevska, Joseph, and Kingi 2014, or Garbneska, Joseph, and Kingi 2014 stated. As compared to the seventh edition, three or more authors list first author followed by et al. So it means we are already writing et al. In the seventh edition when we do the bibliographic entry. In the in-text citation, it's in-text, it means inside the manuscript, inside the sentence construction. So Garbneska et al. 2014 or Garbneska et al. 2014 stated. Okay. So yes, did you see the difference? For the secondary citations, citing omit the date of the original work. Example, showed in showed in the study. Benz Zodine and Aurel, as cited in Olson Leak and Lynch 2004. Include the date of the original work if known. Okay, so that's in the seventh edition. That showed in the study Benz et al. 1990 as cited in Olson et al. 2004. What's the difference? In the citation, if there's an original work, if possible, you include the date as well of the original work in the seventh edition. Unlike the sixth edition, only the latest is included in mentioning the date. Okay, as highlighted, I forgot to click the pointer. I just nilagyan ko pala ng box, then I forgot to click. Okay. So let's have the sixth edition and seventh edition comparison when it comes to 2 to 7 authors. What shall we do in the sixth edition? We have to list them all. Examples are given already. Picard M. Tempere is The Rebel G and Marchand S. 2015, a sensory study of the aging bouquet of red Bordeaux wine, a three-step approach for exploring a complex olfactory concept, food and quality preference, 42, 110 to 122. But in the seventh edition, yes, include, okay, all authors up to and including 20. How was it possible? In sixth edition, we are only giving 2 to 7 authors in the listing, but here, up to 20. Okay, let's see the example here. Tompek, Johar, Dowing, Johnson, Barry, Wenshell, Kings, Kalea, Brett, Narayan, 2019. Okay, include all authors up and including 20. Okay, so that's the ruling. Okay, let's continue. 8 or more authors. List the first 6 authors, then the last author. So 8 or more. List first 6. Let's see if they are 6. Bayranen, Kasalahati, Painanen, Sibola, Flotskaya, Bulanova, Afonkina. So, list first 6 authors. Are they sixth? Then the last author. So, the last author is Afonkina. Okay. Then here, 21 or more authors. List the first 19 and then the last author. See how many authors are listed, starting from Aldhoc to Sunvis, and then the last author is Izas, 2019. So here, list the first 19. List the first 19. For example, you are having co-authorship with all your classmates. You are composed of only one group. So the first 19, then the last author is indicated. So dot, dot, dot. Okay, again, for the sixth edition of journal articles, if the journal has continuous pagination, omit the issue number in the sixth edition. Burke 2019, The Challenges of Facilitating Arts Learning in Home Education, British Educational Research Journal, volume 45, pages 961 to 978, and the DOI. In the seventh edition, we should include the issue number for all journals that have issue numbers. See the difference. In the sixth edition, we only have the volume 45, but in the seventh edition, we included in the parentheses, okay, volume 45, issue number 5. That's the difference. We are including already the issue number. How about journals with digital object identifiers? In the sixth edition, include DOIs if available, either like this one, DOI or HTTP, then the DOI number. Baker L. 2003, The Role of Parents in Motivating Struggling Readers, Reading and Writing Quarterly, volume, issue number, pages, DOI. But here in the seventh edition, for DOIs, use the below format only. See the difference? Instead of just writing DOI, we replace it with https://doi.org, then the number issued by the journal publication. How about web addresses or the URLs? If there is no DOI, use the URL or the web address of the original journal homepage and not the database URL or PDF URL. So some of the common mistakes there, when you do the referencing, we tend to copy the PDF URL, but it should be the web address. For KJ 2014, children's participation in society is likely to lead to the improved health and well-being. New Zealand Medical Journal, a volume number, issue number, pages, retrieved from HTTPS. Okay, and in our seventh edition, if there is no DOI, use the URL or the web address to the article. For KJ 2014, children's participation in society is likely to lead to their improved health and well-being. New Zealand Medical Journal, see the volume number, the issue number, the pages, and the HTTP. And what have we noticed in the difference between the sixth and the seventh? In the sixth edition, in front of the URL, we use retrieve from. But in the seventh edition, retrieve from is no longer required. And B, this applies to all online resources unless a retrieval date is needed. So when do we use retrieval date in the seventh edition? For materials that are daily or usually updating every day, or those halimbawa ay online dictionaries, online almanacs, or those that are always changed or updated. So that's the time that we can use retrieval date. But if they are just they are journals, we no longer write retrieve from. Okay, as you can see an example. And yes, let's proceed to the other notable changes. In the sixth edition, new APA 7th edition, or new to APA, this is not included in the reviews. Article numbers. Journal articles with article numbers or e-locators, write the word article and then the number instead of the page range. So, yan. Instead of page range, we use article numbers. Agri, S.E. Milford, Fuller, U1, and Ricaya, 2019. Effective host genotype in Ameria. A circulating infection on the metabolome of meat-type chickens. The name of the journal, the volume, the series, the article number. Yes, which this one is new to APA 7th edition. And then the HTTP or the DOI. We use article numbers or e-locators if the pages are not included or part of the journal. How about books? When we talk about the date of the book, in the 6th edition, it's the year of publication. But in the 7th edition, we tend to use the copyright date. This may be different to the year of publication. It means that, for example, the year of publication is given here Joyce and Watkins 2012. But here, Joyce and Watkins 2008, we use the copyright date. In the 7th edition, unlike this one, the publication is in the 6th, but the change is instead of writing the year of publication, we are just using already the copyright date. Place of publication naman, give the city and state code for US publishers, and for publishers outside of the US, give the city, if applicable. But you can also include the country in full. Ligot M 2014, Heartland, Auckland, New Zealand, Auckland University Press. There's an alternative. The place of publication is no longer required in the 7th edition. Ligot M 2014, Heartland, Auckland University Press, or North House PG 2015, Introduction to Leadership, Concepts and Practice, 3rd edition. Okay, so in the 7th edition, I will reiterate that the place of publication is no longer required. Let's talk about the publisher. If there is more than one publisher, list only the first publisher in the 6th edition. But in the 7th, if there is more than one publisher, list them all or list them all in order that they appear separated by a semicolon. The example is already given. Weiss and Perushkin are Music in the Western World, A History in Documents, Shermer Books, Collier, Macmillan. Other notable changes between APA 6th and 7th edition for the ebooks, add the device and version in square brackets, Kindle DX version. And for the 7th edition, if the content is the same as the print book, you no longer add in the device type. So for example, Kindle DX. Let's compare. Leaper MA 2019, Understanding Copyright Law 7th edition, then the HTTP number. We no longer write Kindle DX version retrieved from. That's the difference. How about conference paper presentation? In the 6th edition, we only include a month of the conference. As you can see in the example, then we use paper presented at. And for conference location, give the city and state code for US publishers, city, state if applicable, and country for publishers outside of the United States. But in the 7th edition, include full day for conference, the year, the months, and the days. Use paper presentation format enclosed in a bracket. And for conference location, give the city, state code, if applicable, and the country. The example is already given. Chang Richards, Wilkinson, Seville, in Brinson, 2015, then July 5 to 17. A systems approach to Managing Human Resources in Disaster Recovery Projects paper presentation, 5th Annual International Conference on Building Resilience, Newcastle, NSW, Australia. This is also applicable to poster presentations. It means that when you are viewing or watching presentations, conferences, and even in speakerships, these are included in the white literature and can be cited. It means even you just watch, you do not read, you just watch or participate, you can include whatever you heard as part of the white literature or the gray literature, if I'm not mistaken. Then yes, you can cite them properly. Then entry in an online dictionary, encyclopedia, or Wikipedia for dates that cannot be determined, use NB for the year of publication. Here's example. Entry in an online dictionary, encyclopedia, or Wikipedia, online reference works that are continuously updated, use NB for the year of publication, and include the retrieval date. Why was it with retrieval date in the 7th edition? Because these are online dictionary, encyclopedia, and Wikipedia, which are always updated or updating. That's the reason. And for reports authored, for personally authored reports include the publishing organization's name followed by the word website. In front of the URL, use retrieve from. But in the 7th edition, the word website is no longer required. Retrieve from is no longer required as well. The example is already posted in our screen. Okay? And how does an article in an online journal be referenced? Here's the concrete example, and my reference is the American Psychological Association. Author, so invert name so that the last name comes first, followed by a comma and the initials. Leave a space between initials. Retain the order of the author's names. Next, the year. Place the year in parentheses and with a period. For the title of the article, capitalize only first letter of the first word. For a two-part title, capitalize the first word of the second part of the title. Also capitalize proper nouns. Do not italicize and with a period. And for the name of the periodical, capitalize all major words in the periodical name, follow with a comma, italicize the periodical name, but not the comma after. For the volume, italicize the volume number. Do not put a space between the volume number and the parentheses around the issue number. So it means no parentheses. Do not italicize the issue number or parentheses. Follow the parentheses with a comma. Do not no issue number, that's okay. Follow the volume number with a comma. And the pages include the article page range. Use an end dash. Do not put spaces around the end dash and end with a period. Does the article have a DOI? Include a DOI for all works that have one. Do not put a period after the DOI. There's no period after it. Next set of examples. How does an article in an online book be referenced? Online book. Invert names for the author or authors. Invert names so that the last name comes first, followed by a comma and the initials. Leave a space between initials. Retain the order of the author's name. For the copyright year, place the copyright year in parentheses and with a period. For the title of the book, capitalize only the first letter of the first word. For a two-part title, capitalize the first word and the second part of the title. Also, capitalize proper nouns, italicize the title, and with a period. For the edition, does the book have an edition or volume number? If so, Include the number in parentheses after the title but before the period. If both, show edition first and volume second separated by a comma. Do not put a period between the title and parenthetical information. For the publisher, include the name of the publisher followed by a period and do not include the publisher location. Are there multiple publishers? If so, separate them with a semicolon. Does the book have a DOI? Include a DOI if available. Do not include a URL or database information for works from academic research databases. Include a URL for ebooks from other websites. Do not put periods after the DOI or the URL. So I'm almost 1 hour discussing. Shall we proceed? Okay, so I will be proceeding. How does an article in a book chapter be referenced? Chapter in an edited book. Invert name so that the last name comes first followed by a comma and initials. Leave a space between initials. Retain the order of authors' names. Place the copyright year in parentheses and with a period. Capitalize only the first letter of the first word. For a two-part title, capitalize the first word of the second part of the title and also capitalize proper nouns. Do not italicize and with a period. Next, write the word in and the initials and the last name, not inverted, of each editor. Use ed for one editor or edge for multiple editors, and with a comma. Inside the name of the publisher followed by a period, do not include the publisher location. If there are multiple publishers, separate them with a semicolon. Does the book have a DOI or URL? Include a DOI if available. Do not include a URL or database information for works from academic research databases or URL for ebooks from other websites. Do not put a period after the DOI or the URL. Then provide the title of the book in which the chapter appears. Capitalize only the first letter of the first word for two parts title. Capitalize the first word of the second part of the title also, and capitalize proper nouns. Italicize the book title. And for this part, include the chapter page range and with a period and thus the book of editors or volume number. If so, include the number in parentheses before the page range. If both, show edition first and volume second separated by a comma and before the page range. Do not put a period between the title and the parenthetical information. We are done with the first part of our topic, and let's move forward. Maybe I could ask for additional minutes so I could complete my talk. With your permission, I will be okay. Maybe I could omit the question and answer part if I consume too much of your time. Let's proceed with the in-text citations, which I believe is also an important part of the research writing as well as proofreading and formatting. Frequently asked questions. How will we have APA in-text citation? So here are some of the examples which I personally drafted. Types of author, parenthetical citation, and the narrative citation. If we only have one author, parenthetical citation means the information is presented first and the reference or the citation is after the information. It is enclosed in a parenthesis. And in narrative citation, the reference is part of the statement or the information. Okay. So here, one author OS star 2019, and for the narrative OS star parenthesis 2019. You can just look at the examples. For the two authors in our manuscript, if ever we are citing references, for authors, La Rosa and Katapang, 2020, La Rosa and Katapang, 2020. Three or more authors. In parenthetical, we have Bernabe, Baron, ampersand Galliano, 2018. In narrative citation, Bernabe, Baron, and Galliano, parenthesis 2018. Group authors with an abbreviation. Department of Education, DepEd 2021, Department of Education, DepEd, 2021. See how the parentheses shifted from the parenthetical to narrative. In the narrative, only the year is enclosed in the parentheses, but in parenthetical, the name and the year are both enclosed inside parentheses. Following citations, JEPED, 2021. See the difference? Group author or no abbreviation, Southern Luzon State University and Southern Luzon State University. There's a shifting in the parentheses. Two authors with the same last name. For example, there would be two authors having the same surname, OS star. How can you present this? You write the initial, the first name, JOS star 2020, ROS star 2021. How about two sources by the same author in the same year? I had written two studies in the same year. For example, OS star, 2020, the first study is A. OS star 2020, the second study is written or signified by B. So you will only write A and B if you encountered two sources by the same author in the same year. So the next, how can we present subsequent citations? What do you mean by subsequent citations? First citation, OS star, Bernabe, La Rosa, and Bautista 2021 found. Subsequent citation within the same paragraph. What if they are still mentioned in the same paragraph? What would be the change or how can we write it? OS star et al. Found. So I will no longer write the year because it's in the same paragraph. And I will write et al. Because it's a subsequent citation and there's a ruling. We only mention all the names or the surnames of the authors or co-authors on the first citation. And on the subsequent, we just write et al. And since it is in the same paragraph, I will reiterate, you will no longer repeat the year. What if there's a subsequent first citation per paragraph thereafter? So I have to repeat the findings of or add up findings of OS star et al. But it's in another paragraph. That's the moment that you will include the year. What if we have the parallel citation? Katapang and Castillo, 2018, semicolon, Cunanan and Montero, 2019. How can we cite using direct quotation? As you remembered, we have three ways on how to avoid the cardinal sins of plagiarism. We have to paraphrase, we have to summarize, and another is we use quotation. But here are some of the questions on how we use quotation, specifically direct quotation. What if we need to directly quote from a book, journal, or others? What shall we do? For one page, use P. For more than one page, use PP. Example, P289. And for this one, for more than one page, use PP. So it should be PP, 280 to 289. So you're right, PP, not P. Oh, you correct this one. What if there is no page mentioned in the material cited? What can we do if there's no page? This could be a section or heading name on a website, a paragraph number. Manually count the paragraphs and use the abbreviation para. A slide number on a PowerPoint, a timestamp or a video, or etc. If there's no page, we have to count manually on what paragraph does the item appeared. It could be time if it's a video or an MP3 or so on. And if it's a PowerPoint, what's the number of the slide? Say, for an instance, immunotherapy treatment involves a series of injections or purified allergen extracts. So where is the quotation? Treatment involves a series of injections or purified allergen extract. It's a directly cited series of words from the author. For you to avoid plagiarism, since we are using direct quotations, in the first place, when or where or why do we use direct quotation? If we believe that the actual words of the author will bring strength to our paper, then you can use direct quotation, or there's no other possible alternative for such words. Example, Mayo Clinic MD, there's no page, the word treatment, the title, then the section, paragraph 3. Treatment section, paragraph 3. What if the material is a media file? To cite a quote from a film or other audiovisual material, use a timestamp in place of a page number. Example, read on 2015, the timestamp is 16:30. 16 minutes and 30 seconds. How does a direct quotation should look like? How do? Or how does it should appear? Okay, here's a sample. Mindfulness has arranged meanings that it has or as it has become a trend word conveying a diversity of understanding depending on the context. So you see already which part of the statement has a direct quotation. It is from Crane 2017, page 586, and can encompass, as Crane 2017 said, mindfulness has become a trend word conveying a diversity of understandings dependent on context. P586 and can encompass. Okay, so it could appear in that way. Mindfulness has become a trend word conveying a diversity of understandings dependent on context. Crane 2017, P586. It could appear in the following examples. Okay, yeah, it's 2019, and then the times stamped. Henderson 2017 in the time stamped. This one also. Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these pages must show. To begin my life with the beginning of my life, I record that I was born, as I had been informed and believed, on a Friday. At 12 o'clock at night, it was remarked that the clock began to strike and I began to cry simultaneously. It's from Dickens' 1896, page 1. Why we no longer require the quotation marks or the close quotation marks? Because we have a ruling, we only include close quotation marks for direct quotation if it is less than 40 words. But if it is more than 40 words, we do not include the quotation mark, but we use the block style in a separate paragraph. So we include the directly quoted in a separate paragraph following a block style format. So that's what you are seeing in some of the references that you have read before. You might ask why it is in a separate paragraph and it's block style, not indented. Because it's a direct quotation more than 40 words. Here, what are the different parts of a table? So we're on almost on formatting already. This is one of the common mistakes when we format because we tend to put all lines in the table. We have the table number. It should be this way. There's no period after. Then the title, means and standard deviations on the measure of self-direction in learning as a function of age in adult students. This is title case. Capitalize the beginning of every word except the conjunction and the preposition. And it should be italicized. We have the stub, we have the column spanner, we have the headings, and going back, if it is something to do with stat or statistics, it should be italicized. Then use horizontal lines under the title headings and the body, but no vertical lines, only horizontal, no vertical. Here's the cell, here's the body, and you can include the note. The maximum score is 100 as an example here. No participants were found for the over 80 group. To continue, here's a sample, table 2. The title is in italics, but the table number is not. Also note the space between the title and the top of the table. So there's a space. And yes, it goes this way. How can we determine there is no, okay, there's no vertical. Use horizontal lines. No vertical lines. Unlike the usual thing that we do, we tend to uh, put all the lines in the table, but in 7th edition, we do this way only when we format. Okay, so we're heading to the topic outline number 3, the research layout. I will only show you here the paper elements and format examples lifted from the American Psychological Association reference. Here's a sample for a professional title page, item 2.3. It looks like this one. This is the author byline. You don't have to include the honorary degree or the honorary title. Just write the name as it is. I will not write Jennifer M.O.S. Star, comma PhD, but just Jennifer M.O.S. Star, since according to the rulings, we no longer write the honorary title or the degree. Then the affiliation, Center for University Teaching, Learning and Assessment, University of West Florida. And specific, if there's a Department of Psychology, University of West Florida. This is the color, this is the running head, all caps. And how to write the abstract. It should be at the center and not all caps. And the section labels, you remember the level headings I told you before or in our warm-up. There's no indentation. And the keywords, indented. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, right. According to the rulings, maximum of 5. Actually, it's 3 to 5 in any order. But in some cases, there's additional guidelines. It should be paragraph. It should be alphabetical. But as I have read the seventh edition, it doesn't mention. It didn't mention the alphabetical order of the keywords. It just mentioned that the maximum is 5. For the text alignment, it should be center paper title and title case. And then first line of paragraph 0.5, left align text and ragged right margin. Yan. It's not justified as what we are always doing. It should be ragged right margin. And for, yes, direct quotation, the one I'm telling you a while ago. Indentful block quote 0.5 from left margin, also double space if it's more than 40 words that you have to directly quote. For this one, title, comparison of student evaluations of teaching with online and paper-based administration, title case still. And for the parenthetical citation of a work with one author, it goes this way. We already talked about this one. Parenthetical citation of multiple authors. Okay, Griffin et al. It should be in the second citation actually. Then parenthetical citation for works with the same author and same date. I also mentioned this one. You write A and B. Level 2 heading in the introduction. How does a level 2 heading would look like? It should be in this position, not at the center. And still, title case. Level 2 heading in the introduction, so it's repeated. Narrative citation. It's part of the sentence, Avery et al. 2006. And paraphrasing, yes. For the parenthetical citation of multiple works, it should be alphabetically arranged. Parenthetical citation of multiple works. These findings have been replicated in multiple settings using a variety of research methods. Avery et al. 2006, Domier et al. 2004, Morrison 2011, Stowell et al. 2012, and Bennett et al. 2010. They are separated by semicolon and arranged alphabetically, not by year, but alphabetically. Narrative citation used to paraphrase methods from two studies. How was it? Appeared in Novel et al. 2010 and Morrison 2011. Two paraphrase methods from two studies. Yes. And long paraphrase goes this way. Here's the level 1 heading after the introduction with the method at the center for level 1. And level 2 heading, going back, it's not indented, it's not at the center. And for this one, level 2 heading, 2.27, table 2.3, figure 2.5. So why there's numbering? Because that's the reference part in the manual of style or the book that we're using. Okay. And for this one, italics used for anchors of a scale. We italicize the Likert scale. It's like this one. Poor, fair, good, very good, or excellent. We italicize the Likert scale. I reiterate. And then we use n dash in a numerical range. We use n dash, we do not use to, but n dash. And then statistics presented in text, it's italicized. R is italicized. The level 2 heading, yes, going back. And for level 1 heading again, the results. And level 2 heading, response rates. Table called out in text. Response rates are presented in table 1. It's capitalized. Statistics presented in text, it's italicized. Footnote called out, you can use this one. Level 2 heading again, and referring to a previous footnote, see footnote 1, if there's a footnote there. And continuation, yes, the footnote in page footer must be included if you have chosen the footnoting. Figure called out in text, in figure 1, capitalized. The first letter, parenthetical citation of multiple papers by the same author. Okay, birth 2012, 2013. Level 1 heading, going back at the center. Next, parenthetical citation of a work with two authors, Tversky and Kinema, 1971. Person symbol, as what I told you a while ago in our warm-up, numerical, then the percentage, and the and dash, and there's no spacing. The number and the percent. Level 2 heading, implications for practice. Level 3 heading, improving. Okay, why it was already italicized? Because yes, I have discussed to you a while ago the level headings. It should be italicized but still in title case and not indented or aligned this way. How about the see also citation? It goes this way. Level 3 heading, italicized. Parenthetical citation of a work with one author, it goes this way. And parenthetical citation of two works, yes, separated by semicolon. And level 2 heading, and quotation marks used to indicate an ironic comment. Yes, you have to include the quotation mark symbol, the punctuation mark. And we're on references already. Reference list. References, not all caps, but the beginning letter only. Journal article reference. Journal article reference without TOI. It appears this way. Book reference goes this way. Letters used after the year of, for multiple works with the same author and year. It goes this way. You write, is it letter A, B, C, or as many as many letters as possible if the writer or the author had written a lot in the same year. And title ending with a question mark, how it appear this way. And journal article reference with missing issue number, it goes this way. Table title, I already mentioned this a while ago, table number, table title, italicized, and the table note. You include table note. And how can we present a figure? Figure number, figure title is also the same format as the table title, italicized, sentence. No, it's a title case. Because sentence case, only the capital letter is in G. Okay, only the capital letter is in the, the beginning. But here, figure title, all letters are, the beginning letters are capitalized. In the figure note, same guidelines as the table note. And yes, that's the end of my presentation. I exceeded with few minutes. So probably my time for questioning is already consumed. But I hope that most of the topics related to your questions on research writing, referencing, formatting, and even proofreading has been answered by my discussion. And with that, here are my references: American Psychological Association, Concise Rules for APA Style, American Psychological Association Publication Manual of the Psychological Association, American Psychological Association blog, and American Psychological Association Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association, 7th edition. And yes, time check. I've been speaking a lot for this 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I will be ending my talk with this quotation. Once again, I am Dr. Jennifer M. O. Star of the Schools Division of Lucena City, saying, "There's light at the end of the tunnel, and never forget that every after night comes a great morning." If we are having some difficulties in research writing, there's always light at the end of these difficulties. And as we learn how to conquer those difficulties, we will be waking up with a great day. We can say that research is not as hard as it sounds like. So, once again, have a pleasant day, everyone. Okay, thank you so much. And this would be the end of my talk. Hoping I could still have a chance to discuss more, but then I am only limited with 1 hour. I just exceeded by 20 minutes or more. So you can have the copy of my presentation if you wish to. I will be leaving the link of my presentation in the chat box. Okay, so with that, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity that you had given Just family and to our dear participants for today's international training. Goodbye and see you once again in some other opportunities. Mabuhay. Maraming salamat po again.